Hey, this is Lynn. I just wanted to welcome you to my channel. I finally got to sew, so I'm so excited, and I made a block that I wanted to share. I don't know the name of the block, so if one of you out there in the YouTube land know the name of the block, please let me know. I am using I don't know, it's a layer cake. It's a layer cake. I don't know the name of the fabric. It's just a layer cake. It's 10 by 10 squares of batik fabric, and that's what I'm using. I don't know the name of it because I got this fabric maybe a year and a half ago. Yes, it was a year and a half ago, maybe two. I went with a friend and I got this fabric because I gave away a quilt that had these colors in it, and I just wanted to make another one, and just, I haven't had a chance. So I decided to make the block a little bit different, because what I was just going to do is half square triangles and make a quilt with all half square triangles with this batik fabric. But I decided that I want to make it a little bit more intricate, a little bit more fancy. So I used 4 10 by 10 blocks, pieces of fabric, and let me just show you the fabric. This is just some of the fabric. It's 10 by 10. You need 4 of them. I do recommend that in one of your colors, do 2 light colors and 2 darker colors. I do recommend also too, for this to kind of work, a lighter one, at least a lot lighter than the other colors, would highlight what you're trying to highlight better. I don't know the name of this block, but I think it came out beautiful. And let me show you the block. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she beautiful? I think this is such a beautiful block. I don't know the name of it, so if one of you maybe know the name of the block, just let me know. I would love to post the name of the block. This block ends up being 18 by 18 large. I have a tendency to like making bigger block projects, because I think if I just make maybe 6 of these beauties, look how beautiful this is. If I make 6 of these beauties, or even just 9 of them, and they're really fast to make, I can end up with a really beautiful quilt top. I don't know if I'm going to do session, or if I'm just going to bring all the blocks together and just make a really pretty quilt block. I just wanted to do something for you guys, but also to just use this fabric. So this is an 18 by 18 block. Isn't it beautiful? I wanted to go ahead and do this tutorial. It is so easy. This block is so easy, and it looked like you're a genius. It looked like you just you just did a lot of work. My recommendation is that in one of the blocks, go ahead and pick an extremely light color, so that you get this beautiful kind of pinwheel effect or diamond effect in the center. Have 2 dark colors and 2 light colors. So this blue to me is a lighter color than the darker colors. But I really do think that if you have a light tone batik inside this design, the white kind of makes it pop more. Just saying. You don't have to, but I just thought. So, yeah. Let's get to the tutorial. See you later. See you, in the tutorial, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so these are the things you're going to need. You're going to need a long ruler, marking tool. I had a water-soluble one and a disappearing one, a rotary cutter, and a cutting mat. I recommend having 2 dark fabrics that are 10 by 10 and 2 light fabrics, but I like having one lighter. And so you're going to need 4 pieces of fabric, 2 dark and 2 light, and you're going to get your ruler from corner to corner, and you're going to mark a line. After you mark that line, we're going to sew on the left side of the line and on the right side of the line, and you're going to have a light color and a dark color put together. And here I'm just showing you, you're going to sew a line 1/4 over to the center line. And after you do that, we're going to go to the sewing machine, and you're going to get your 2 pieces of fabric, a light one and a dark one, and you're going to make sure that they line up one on top of the other, facing each other. I have batik fabric, so both sides of the fabric I could use. Then we're going to go to the sewing machine and you're going to sew on the left side of the line a fourth away and on the right side of the line a fourth away. And you're going to go ahead and do this all the way down. And then once you've done sewing, you're going to go ahead and get your ruler, a cutting mat, and your rotary cutter, and you're going to cut on top of the line that you drew. What this is going to do is give you 2 half square triangle pieces. Then you're going to go iron them and open them, but you're going to do this twice. So I picked 2 different colors and I'm just showing you what it looks like. Once you have those 2 colors together, you're going to go ahead and draw a line on the back of your fabric like you did to make the half square triangles. You're going to put 2 of your fabrics together and we're going to sew a fourth on the right side and on the left side, and you're doing this on both of your fabrics. So here I have a blue and a light color and a red and a light kind of color, and I have the blue with the lighter color and the red with the lighter color facing each other, and I'm making sure that that center seam buds up to the center seam of the other fabric. I like checking and making sure that it's butted up together, and then I pin it, and I'm going to go ahead and do this on the opposite side. As you're doing this too, your fabric should be in line on the edges also. So here you see me checking the other side of my fabric, make sure it makes one continuous line, and I'm going to get a safety pin or a pin and I'm going to pin it right there away from where I'm going to sew. I did that to both of my pieces of fabric, and here you see me sewing a fourth on the right side of my center line and a fourth on my left side on the center line, and I kind of chain pieced to do this, and here you see me checking that center mark right there and make sure it's one line. Once you check both sides, like I'm checking on the opposite side, making sure it's one, it looks like it's one line and that little center looks perfect, I go ahead and cut on top of the line that I drew all the way across. And what this is going to do is make me 2 pieces, and I'm going to go ahead to the iron and iron them, which now I end up having another set of 4 again, but kind of like with different variations of color. This is when you start building your block. What you can do is you could use the red in the center and make a pinwheel, or you could use the blue in the center. I love the blue. And this is kind of your design process. Just make sure that it's what you want. So here you see me getting 2 pieces of fabric together, and I'm butting up the corners, and I'm going to go ahead and fold over that fabric and make sure it's one line. And then I'm going to go ahead and get a pin and pin on the fabric or on the thread line. I'm going to also do this on this other edge and make sure that my fabric is from edge to edge, and also right there it's butted up nice and pretty, and I'm going to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew all the way down. I'm going to do this with both of my pieces. So what I'm making sure here after I've sewn everything, that I have a fourth on the top and on the bottom of both of my pieces, and then I'm going to the iron and iron them nice and straight. Ironing at this point is kind of important. What I like making sure is my top piece, that the fold is ironed in one direction, and when I iron the opposite end, that the fold is going in the opposite direction. And what this does is it helps pin the center area or sew the center area really nice and crisp, because they butt up to each other. Those seams butt up to one another. So here you see me showing you that I ironed it on the opposite side, and then I ironed this on the opposite side on the bottom. And now it's time to go ahead and do the pinning process again. I like pinning a lot, guys, because I want to make sure that those seams are nice and butted up together and straight, and this is how I check them. And honestly, this is fail proof. And here you see me making sure it's a straight line, and then I pin where the thread line is right there. And I do this a little different in the center. Do you see the little triangle? I butt up the triangle to triangle. Once I've butted my 2 pieces together, I go ahead and rub those edges together and make sure that they're nice and snug. Also in this area, there's also a seam line where it shows you where your point is, and I'm making sure that I pin right below that area so I could recheck it. In a minute, you're going to see that I'm going to fold the fabric over to check if everything's nice and lined up, like right there. And you know that my triangles are right snugged up together, and that edge to edge is snug together. And then I'm going to do this last corner. In a minute in the sewing machine, I'm going to show you what I meant by that little triangle area in the center of the seam, but I'm going to go ahead and pin this area again and just go to the sewing machine and start sewing. Now here, you usually see a seam where you see the corner of the pinwheel or the edge. Either have your needle go down right on that little seam, not above it, not below it, or you'll lose your point. And then this allows you to have those beautiful points right in the center. In the edge of all your blocks, make sure you have a fourth there, and look at my center, and then a fourth on the opposite end. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut all the excess fabric, and then I also like cutting like right to the corner of where all those seams come together, and I'll do a better tutorial of this. And what I do here is I start rubbing the fabric apart, and it allows me to remove all that bulk that is created in the center. And in a minute you'll see me open the back of the fabric and start rubbing that fabric apart from one another. I don't like opening my seams because I've learned that sometimes when my long arm quilting machine goes close to that seam, it'll puncture the seam open. So once you have your block completely ironed, you're completely done with this block. But I wanted to share some things that I wasn't told when I started piecing, and I'm going to show you all those center seams. Make sure you have a fourth distance between that little corner, and the reason you want to do that is if you want to add sashing or add block to block, or even if you want to do the binding, you don't want to lose those points. And so here the block is 18 by 18. Originally I started the tutorial with this block, but I lost some footage, but I still wanted you to see the quilt block itself. These blocks are big and beautiful, and it's going to make a wonderful quilt. I really do hope you like this tutorial. Isn't it easy? This block is so easy. I ran it so fast. What I am thinking of doing is I'm thinking of making several of them, so I may take some pictures on my Little Nest Quilting Facebook group as I'm progressing on each block. Alright my friends, I'm back. She's back. She's back. I'm finally back. My kids are back in school. Yes! Yes! Don't tell my kids. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah. Oh God, I'm supposed to be proper. I'm so glad my kids are here. Sorry, I'm a good mother. So, see you later. Bye. Bye. See you later.